Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Geeks, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, the masters of the geekyverse. Well, welcome back, geek freaks. I am TC, joined by, as always, by JJ.
What up, guys? How are you?
And Toy Story.
What's up, everyone?
Guys, we have a really cool episode for you today. So you will notice that in the Geek Beat, we will not be talking about The Mandalorian because we're going to dedicate the entire closing to the last episode, The Jedi. But we are also talking for our main segment today.
Sorry. little jumped the gun. I was excited.
We are talking about Legos today. We know that some people have covered Legos before, but we're going to go into our specific Legos. It's going to be a little different. I'm going to kind of, there he is. Toy Story's little buddy. Both JJ and Toy Story are more of the Lego guys than I am. So we're going to try a format where I kind of interview them. So hopefully that'll be fun. But before we get into that, I'm going to turn it over to Toy Story for the Geek Beat.
Yes. We have a lot of stuff this week, guys.
So much.
Yeah. All right, so let's start it off with a little bit of the CW Arrowverse news. So it was just announced this week that David Ramsey is going to be returning to reprise his role as John Diggle. And I think most of basically across all the shows. He's actually going to be returning in a directing role, too. So as of right now, I think he's scheduled for a mystery role in Legends of Tomorrow, which hasn't been announced yet, but that's what everybody's speculating right now.
You know,
yeah.
I just recently saw an image of him kind of in a Green Lantern outfit. I just saw it, like, I think it was today at some point. Is that even feasible?
It could be.
That was interesting.
They do whatever they want.
You probably just saw an image of it if we found it. Honestly, I think the way it ended was he kind of got like a green glowing ring or something like that from his I don't remember how it ended exactly, but I mean I think this is pretty cool. He was always, in my opinion, one of the strongest actors that was on that Arrow show.
Yeah. When I watched that show, he was one of my favorites. I
mean, Stephen Amell, he was good as Arrow. He was in my I like the guy, but a terrible actor when it came to like playing the Oliver Queen character. It was just, he was definitely like my favorite character on the show and definitely had the acting chops. I've pretty much given up on all those shows at this point, but who knows? Maybe I'll.
You went way farther than I did on those.
Because I do.
All right, moving on. So more TV news. So for Disney Plus, everybody knows Hawkeye's coming out.
I don't even know if we can call that TV anymore. Like TV, that's whatever. Like it's like elevated.
You watch it on a TV.
It's not TV. It's Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Everybody knows Hawkeye's coming out at some point. Our buddy Jeff, I'm sure, is very excited for that. But it was just revealed today that Haley Steinfeld is going to be playing Kate Bishop.
Now, who is she? Revealed as there was a photo.
There was a photo leaked, right?
From the set, of her as the character. So I think for a while she's been denying that she's accepted this role, that she's in the role. So this was like something that people were speculating hard, but no one had actually confirmation on until now.
Yeah. So who is this girl? Do we know her from anything? Because I don't.
Funny enough, I just asked my wife that about 30 minutes ago. So it's like I've heard this name. I know she's famous. Who is she? So I think she's like a singer or something. I think she's been in like she's like a singer, actress. She's probably along similar lines to that girl who like starred in that Pitch Perfect movie. I think she's kind of similar.
Anna Kendrick.
I think she's like one of those type of actresses.
She was in Pitch Perfect too, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. So
well, there you go.
And Bumblebee,
the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is she the main girl in that?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. So actress, singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So cool. I mean, it's good that they went with a popular. I know she's very popular.
Oh, she played Gwen Stacy in Spider-Verse.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so she's got that background.
Yeah, she and I know she's real famous with the kids.
Oh yeah.
If we ever had Hudson on, he could probably tell us more about Haley Steinfeld. I know she's cute. How old is she? Am I legally okay to say that she's cute?
That she's cute? She's 23, so yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, she's cute.
All right,
it's legal. It's fine. Over 21.
JJ, do you want to talk about the next one? I think this was something that came from you, right?
So there's word on the street that Brie Larson, who was Captain Marvel, wants to play Zelda, the princess.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have a quick question for you. So does this mean it's not going to be about Link and it's going to focus specifically on Zelda?
So, this has been on the roadmap for quite a while. I mean, Netflix has been they've been talking about coming out with, a Zelda animation coming out. There's been talk of a movie. Now there's talk about Brie Larson. Apparently she's an avid gamer. She's a huge gamer.
I have heard that. She's
expressed interest in playing Zelda, the princess, and this is supposed to be kind of like a spin-off of... So it basically focuses on Zelda itself. And it's basically a spin-off from the movie that's going to be coming out where it incorporates everything.
Okay.
So this is supposed to be just centered... Yeah, this is supposed to be just centered on Hyrule, just I guess the city and her is what is in talks.
All right. I mean, I'm always iffy on those video game movies, but I mean, like,
yeah, I mean,
they've tried to do like Nintendo stuff in the past.
I'm just excited because this totally sounds like something I can skip. So one less thing.
And you're right. I don't know. I don't think these type of movies have had really good luck.
No, I think Witcher's like one of the first video game adaptations to do really well.
Part of the problem is that a lot of these people don't take these seriously enough. They try to make it like more of like campy and a joke. I mean, listen, my favorite video game movie to date is Super Mario Brothers.
That's a great movie. That's fun.
I love that movie. It's campy, but in the good way.
Yeah.
So it's just
when they try and do that, it doesn't work.
And the other problem is Brie Larson. She doesn't have a princess look to her. To me, honestly, she's not a princess. I don't know.
Well, I think that's probably why they would go with more like a warrior princess. I mean, listen, the state of the world now is they're trying to flip the roles on everything. That's why I was joking, is she going to be saving Link in this situation or something like that?
Yeah, this is supposed to be just centered on her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I doubt we're going to see her running around in like a pink, like Princess Peach dress in the movie. So I think it's probably going to be more of like a take charge princess than anything else.
Yeah, no. Like, have you played like Ocarina of Time or any of those?
No, I have not.
So
I played Zelda 1.
so in Ocarina of Time, Zelda has an alter ego, Sheik, who's a character throughout. And you don't find out it's Zelda until later on, but she's basically like a covered up ninja. That helped out Link through the thing. So he had those, representations where she's not just a princess being rescued. What?
Oh, I think we're spending too much time.
Too much time.
Larson.
Too much time. All right, then TC to take this next one.
Song to Brie Larson. All right, she's had enough play on this show.
All right, you take this next one then, because
so I actually was lucky enough to pick one of these up. It was in my pull list. I found out about it a couple of days ago. But so we're recording this the Wednesday before you're hearing this. So it was new comic book day for us, and Daredevil 25 came out today, and it's pretty hot. The regular cover is going from like the $20 range, a little more, a little less. I think the 1 in 25 incentive I've seen go for selling for over $100. It's supposedly the first time, and this is a spoiler, so if you haven't read it yet, maybe skip to forward 2 minutes. So it's the first appearance of Elektra as Daredevil. So she actually appears. I have the copy. I'll let you show it to you right now. This is the copy, and so she shows up as Daredevil in it.
Was that the regular cover?
Yeah, that was a regular cover. I didn't get the incentive on it. I don't know. They probably had. I'm sure somebody probably went at the best and paid $50 for it. But I forgot to ask if they had like a line or anything. But so another hot book. We'll see how long that lasts. But one of those
2 weeks.
The flippers were after it.
Of course.
I mean, listen, I may hold on to it for a little while, and if it goes up to like, if this version goes up to like $100, maybe I'll sell it. But for now, I'm probably gonna hold on to it.
Nice.
Okay.
JJ, do you want to talk about Seth MacFarlane?
So Seth MacFarlane. So he's been known for this show, The Orville, which I'm not sure. Have you guys watched Orville?
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
Great. I love it.
It
It's
got
awesome.
canceled, right?
It did get canceled.
I did like it. I watched it.
But there are trading cards out there. I'm a big avid, card collector, especially for the autographs. So a company called Rittenhouse, they're kind of like, the Upper Deck and all that stuff. They came out the season 1 and season 2s of these cards. But what they also did was they came out with an archive autograph edition where it came with, I think it was the box. It was I think $200 or $300. And in the box, you got 15 packs. And inside of all these 15 packs, you got 17 cards and 15 autograph cards. So you basically got a box full of autographs. There were 300 of these boxes created, and the controversy that is going on with this case is Seth MacFarlane. The cards that he signed, 150 of them. So you had a 1 in 2 chance of getting his autograph in these boxes. So out of the 150 cards that he signed, every single one he used an auto pen. So if you guys don't know what an auto pen is, it's basically a machine that you put your signature in this machine and it automatically autographs the card. I have issues with that. So they started comparing them, and we're going to show pictures of this. We'll have them up. So people started realizing when you put these things up on eBay to sell, all the cards started looking the same. These signatures look exactly the same compared to his real autograph. And
so Ozzy did that on his most recent album. Like he used a pen, and they found out because there was a couple different ones. He used 3 different variations of the signature, so it looked like it was a little different. But if you get enough copies, you stack them. It's exactly the same.
Comics?
Yes, Ozzy, our friend from Best Comics.
So this is a huge deal, especially in the autograph world, because you're not technically getting an autograph. You're getting a machine-made autograph, and it's not worth anything.
Even if one of these 15 people affected by this.
No, I was going to buy. I was going to buy one of these cases. I was like, because I don't have his autograph, and I wanted his autograph, and then I waited, and then a week later, this started coming out, and thank God, because I would have been pissed.
Oh, I would have been
if I would have. So I'm not sure what Rittenhouse. They have confirmed that he did use an auto pen to do this. I'm not sure what they're going to do about it. I hope there is some repercustions
but it's not an autograph then, right?
It's not an autograph.
Just a print. It's like
how long can 150 signatures take? They can't take
quick and
half hour,
right? And to be honest, I like him, but you're a scumbag for doing that. I mean, you're cheating people out who pay a lot of money, $300 for a case of 15 cards. I mean, come on. How much money did you get paid to do this? It bothers me.
And I like a lot of his stuff, but he is like a very holier than thou kind of guy sometimes too. And sometimes he rubs me the wrong way.
I'm annoyed about it. It ticks me off, but there you go.
He's probably not. He's not the first. He won't be the last.
No, and there's plenty of people that do it, and as long as I'm hoping he does something for the people, for the 150 people that got this card. I hope there's
the company shouldn't allow that because it's not an autograph.
Yeah, but how do they know that? They're just getting these things and shoving them in. I don't think they're not looking at them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right, moving on. Something that warms my heart. I love hearing about this stuff. So as we all know, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X have been very, very hard to get. Anytime a pre-order goes up, it seems like bots get them before the add to cart button even comes up. So apparently this scalping company, and there are companies who do this, they were able to secure 1,000 orders for 1,000 consoles on, they didn't say what retailer's site. And then they went and bragged about it on social media. They were basically like, we got these consoles, guys. Our bots work. If you snooze, you lose. You guys suck for not getting them. And so the day after that, the retailer canceled all 1,000 of those orders.
That's great.
So it's nice to see that they're cracking down a little bit on this.
So how are they? I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but how do they do something like that with like, don't they only allow like a certain like address or like location to order these? Or
There's
use
workarounds. There's so many workarounds.
locations and stuff like that?
Yeah. So with the bots, you could spoof different emails, different addresses and stuff. Yeah. It's surprisingly easy to do, and it shouldn't be that easy.
And 2 more seconds. I'm hearing that, a lot of people that bought this and reselling it are starting to get a little pushback because they're not selling them because nobody wants to pay $1,000 for a unit that's costs $400, $500.
Exactly.
So you're getting a lot of people who have 20, 30 of these things and they can't sell them because nobody's buying them.
I think the problem is too, like that after that first week, if you don't get them sold in that first week, you might as well not buy anymore because those are the only people who need to have them immediately.
Yep, and who are willing to pay that much.
After the first week, people are going to wait. Like I feel like everyone I've seen who doesn't have one already, just like, I don't care. Like 6 months, I'll get one.
Yeah, I walk into a store and get one, no problem.
Like, at this point, it's just like, why do I need it? Like, if I can get it, great. Like, I'll get one. Like, I probably won't even play mine if I get one till January at this point. So, like, why am I going to try and kill myself to get it? Or I would never spend over retail either. Like,
no,
that's never going to happen.
No, I've never done that. I never will.
Good. At least they crack down on someone.
Yeah, I hope it continues because those guys are scumbags, just like Mr. McFarlane. All right, JJ, talk about this. I watched this before and I almost died.
So this thing, I saw this at the beginning of the week and I finally watched it, I think, yesterday, and I probably watched it another 20 or 30 times after that because I think it's just so funny. So, I don't know the whole backstory on this, but I guess, Stan Lee did a test maybe recording at some point in his life. And
I think this is from his sound engineer, right? The guy who's like Aron Fromm or something.
Aron Fromm. Yeah. So he took this test recording and had somebody create an animation to go along with this test recording. And basically it's Stan Lee going on this FU rant. And all he's saying is the word, F this, F you. And it's hysterical. We'll post the link to this in the comments.
It's very eloquent though. Like it's so funny because he's like, it really works in every single sentence.
You know what I love about
this? It's a verb, it's a noun, it's
an adjective, and this is how it's used. And I love this because whoever drew this, it looks very Disney-like. And I think it's so perfect.
It's funny as hell.
It's top-notch animation.
So funny. Yeah. And I'm so happy that, just to see this and hear it. And that's why I think I've watched it 20, 30 times already, because it is very funny. But we'll check it out. Check the link out. We'll have
link
it
to it. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So one thing I wanted to add that I just actually got a notification for. So Star Wars Kenobi, the series, is going to begin filming on January 4th.
Yes.
In Boston and in London.
On the streets of Boston?
Or it's a studio in Boston. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
gonna be funny in the streets. Maybe they'll put all the sand in the streets and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, so that's way sooner, I think, than everybody expected.
Well, I think they need to get moving on this. We'll talk about this later during the Jedi discussion. But I think now, because it's becoming, it's this thing is growing like crazy.
Yeah.
They need to pump some of this stuff out faster.
Oh yeah. All right, last piece of news. Peter Dinklage, everybody knows him as Tyrion from Game of Thrones. He's going to be starring in Legendary's reboot of The Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Do we know what he's going to play? He's not going to play.
Oh, he's playing the titular. Is that how you say it? Titular character.
Titular character.
Titular character. Yeah. But from how I understand, he's playing the Toxic Avenger. I'm assuming it's going to be like CG'd, where he's going to be doing like a Gollum type thing. And on the face, which Matt, have you ever seen any of the Toxic Avenger stuff?
No, never.
So I don't even know if I've finished the original movie as a kid. It is not a movie for children.
No,
but they made a animated series off of this unrated, basically like gory like hacker / film. And it's like super. It's like very comical. It's a weird movie. I remember watching it as a young kid.
The movie's great. We should add that to our list. I don't
Yeah.
think that's on our list, but I think it's hysterical.
Yeah, the cartoon, it was actually a great toy set too. They had a bunch of like really awesome toys in their set too. I remember having that, and everybody instantly lost the eye because they had a like detachable eye, and the eye was more than a week. But it's a cool character. I hope it gets like a just due. They have to go kind of gory with that though if they're gonna be true to the thing. I'm gonna imagine it's got to be at least rated R.
Oh, at least. Oh yeah. Cool. That's exciting.
All right, so I'll take it for the next piece here. We're actually teaming up again with our friends at Elite Comics 11. They are doing something this year called the Give Back. It's going to be a live charity auction taking place on Saturday, December 12th. So this coming Saturday, it's going to be 5 o'clock for all you East Coasters like us, and 2 o'clock for all the people in the Pacific time zone. So 100% of the proceeds from this live charity auction are going to be donated for Toys from Tots. There's a ton of sponsors. One of them is CGC. Another is Heritage Auctions. There's Diamond Select, Wada Games. Neil Adams is a sponsor. Big Apple Con's a sponsor. Our buddies Royal Collectibles are sponsors. Bronze and Modern Gods are sponsors. There's a ton more. And of course, us at Don't Feed the Geeks and Long Island Comic Guys are sponsoring it as well. So we will be on at some point live with, I believe it's going to be Ali and his team. And we're going to auction off a couple of pieces of different things. We won't say what they are yet, even though we know what they are, for Toys for Tots. So it's a really cool thing. You know, Ali, I actually spoke to him earlier today, and he's like, you know, I felt like we've done so much good with like helping these comic shops with the Remedy tour that they did and a lot of these live claim sales that they feel like they should kind of like pay it back a little bit and, you know, give the Toys for Tots. So I think that's an awesome thing. And we hope all you guys check out what they have up for auction on December 12th. It's all going to charity. So
That's cool.
help the kids. Help the kids.
Help the kids.
Help the kids. Help me.
Not you. Not you. You have enough.
You have enough.
Yeah.
All right. So before we jump into our main topic, which is the Legos today, I just want to remind everybody, as of today, you currently have 9 days left to vote for Don't Feed the Geeks podcast on Best of LI. Excuse me 1 second. You can find us on the Arts and Entertainment subcategory podcast, and you can vote for us once a day, every day. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your cousins, tell everybody to make sure they vote for us. Make sure they listen and watch the podcast too. We've been doing great. Shout out to Oz. Our last episode cracked over 400 views. So whatever.
404.
What's that?
404 today.
I said over 400. It could have been 490. Let people think it's 490. But yeah, we're really growing on the video side, so you guys should check that out if you're just listening. But that's it. So remember to vote. And on that note, let's get into our topic of the day, which is Legos. So you guys want to talk about Legos?
Yeah, we're talking about Legos.
Okay. So since I only had really one Lego set, and I'll feature it here, but it was the Royal Knight 690 castle set from 1995. Really cool. I loved it. The only thing I have left is this Ziploc bag, probably from the 1990s.
Is that of the actual set?
What's that?
Is that the actual
set?
set?
It's from the actual set. Yeah, I kept all the characters and weapons and stuff like that. And like,
where's the manuals?
What's that?
Where's the manuals?
I don't have the manual. I don't have anything else but this. It all got tossed. My mother was very big about getting rid of toys.
Wow.
But that's really all I had. So I'm really.
Were you just not into them as a kid?
I was. It was just a lot of other things that I was into. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a ton of space, and it's not because I had a small room. I had, and you, I don't know if you knew about these, Matt. I had a Fisher-Price 3-in-1 pool table, air hockey, and table in my room. Yeah. So I didn't have a ton of space for Legos, and I had like a lot of like other action figures and stuff like that. So they didn't really do as many like themed toys when I was a kid either. It was either like pirate ships or castles. It wasn't a ton of like superhero, or they didn't have a lot of these like licenses. At least I don't remember them having them when I was little. So it wasn't as appealing to me as some other toys. But from there, let's start it this way. Who knows a little bit of the story of Lego? Like, how did they come? I know are they from Denmark? Is that
they are from Denmark. They actually, they started out with wooden toys back in, I think it was like 1938, I believe it was, when it was a carpenter that came up with this concept. He made toys. They were all wooden. Most of the time they were like, little houses, little cars or trucks, stuff like that. They didn't start using plastic until after World War II. And I believe in the 50s is when they first got their first injector machine, where they started making these, these 2x4s and stuff like that. And ever since then, we got what we got now. I know probably, in the early 90s is when they started, late 80s, early 90s is when they started getting the licenses from, for Star Wars, for all these other, big shows. So I think that was the upswing. And maybe that's when you started playing with them. I don't know, TC. That's why they didn't have them there.
I think it was like, I think I got a little older by the time they started doing that. So I was probably closer, because like the set I had, I was like already 11. So I think it was like by like the mid to late 90s where you started seeing more of those. And I was probably, the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. And I was getting older by then. So like the appeal was a little less to me at that time. And like I was a psycho collector, which thank God, because I really don't need another thing in my life. Like I love the Legos and I am very tempted, but I don't need to collect anything else.
They take up space.
Yeah. But
yeah, so I mean, ever since then they started growing. I know that there was a downslope at one point in their timeline. They still are a privately held company, which I found surprising. I read about that today. But yeah, plastic, lots of plastic.
All right. So we got a little bit of the history. I'm sure there's a lot of things out there. They had a great series on the toys that made us.
Yeah, that's
right. That's right.
They have some great stuff there. What I really want to talk about is Legos and you guys. So what were the first? We'll start with JJ, since he probably has an older set than Toy Story does. What was the first Lego set that you got, JJ?
I don't remember my first Lego set. I know it was a space set back in the day. I was playing with these things way in the early 80s. I know I really wanted back, I think it was in 82 or 83, they came out with the space shuttle, which I really wanted. But I remember I had some space and some of the castle pieces back then. But yeah, I've been playing with these pretty much my entire life, it feels like. I do have an old set. My wife, it's funny because my wife was a big Lego person too, and she still had her original set. And this is hers. So this is, she got this early. 113.
That's such a low number.
This was probably 1975.
I think they're up to like 5 digits now for the SKUs.
Yeah, and they're still like they're still the same little brick parts. Here's an oven, and it's what's so fun. It's an oven. But like what I really loved is I'm going to take a mini. So these are the typical minifigs that we've got nowadays. There's right. But this was the minifigs back in their day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, it's funny when you look at these things like, this is what I remember, back early then. Because this even predates, some of those castle sets where you actually had the little minifigures.
Yeah.
But yeah, the wheels and these are still tight. They still hold, they still grip, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, this is great. This was my wife's, and we still play with it. I fortunately or unfortunately got 2 little boys, and they're huge Legos, and we'll discuss more. But I've got hundreds of sets and thousands of individual Legos in this house.
What about you, Toy Story? What was your first set?
Lego Life on Mars.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys did you hear those, Jim?
I knew it. Yep.
yeah, see it right here.
You're looking at it.
Yeah,
yeah. So that little alien minifigure was one of the ones that came with it. So the set I had was exactly the one that we're showing. So it was like these two. I don't know what they were. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but you would put the alien in at the end of the tube and then hit the suction cup thing that you see in the back, and it would suck the alien through the tube into the little structure over there. But it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Totally weird.
So what is it that about Legos that you guys find appealing? What makes it a cool toy or like a cool collectible? Or
it's you can build anything. Like literally you can build anything as long as you have the parts, and you can create these worlds. And nowadays with these with the Legos that we have now, I mean you can create a whole entire city, and they've got bookstores and gas stations and all this other stuff, and it's especially for a little kid, being able to create the city. I mean look at the movies we have. We have Lego movies.
Yeah.
And it's just like that mentality where you can build these cities and act out different scenes. You can take a giant Hulk buster and smash the city apart and then put it back together again.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. And it's fun to watch my little boys play. They'll there's no manuals. We've got thousands of it, and they'll just put something together and they'll fly it around or crash it. It's great.
That was one of the fun things I remember. I probably had other smaller random sets, just kind of building something on your own is really fun too.
Yeah.
So for you, JJ, it's kind of cross generational and fun to play. I mean, I don't. My daughter's definitely not there yet, but I would love to get into Legos with her at some point, and that'll probably be the next generation where I start to have too many of those.
and don't get me wrong. The problem is I mean, from what I've got. This is just some of it. This is not even a quarter of it. It's fun to collect. It's fun to put together. And I love to get a set, even a big set, or even just a small set, and I can zone out at a table and just put this thing together and not think about anything. And I love figuring things out, and I don't even half the time I don't even need to look at a manual to put something together, because you could just figure it out. You've been doing this for so long, you know where different pieces fit and where they go. But it's just to be able to zone out and work. It's
very therapeutic.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, very therapeutic.
And
JJ, over under, how many times have you stepped on a Lego?
Oh, plenty of times. In fact, I've got callus, so I don't even need to wear shoes.
Is it kind of a similar thing for you, Toy Story?
Yeah, I didn't. So when I was a kid, I built, I did a lot of the imaginative stuff. I had the giant, mine was a big old cat litter case filled with Lego pieces, from stray sets or whatever that broke. So I'd use that to build, and anything I thought of when I was a little kid. But as I got a little bit older and into Star Wars and stuff when I was young, maybe 6 or so, I was super into just, getting the ships and stuff. And, the stuff I saw on TV, being able to create little versions of it for myself when I was a kid, I loved that.
So, JJ, this is probably going to be more of a question for you. So how have you noticed the evolution really of Legos from when you were a kid to now?
I mean, it's amazing because now they've got all these licenses to make. We got Star Wars. I mean, it's one of my biggest. Wow. It's my thing.
I think that was one of the first licenses they had. Right?
It was, and it's not just it's not just Star Wars. It's Marvel. I mean, we've got a whole Marvel universe now, and we've got a whole DC universe. So now we're bringing in all our superheroes. I've got a Batman. Or my Aquaman. Yeah. And so you're bringing all these other we didn't have this before. Before it was just you got a box, here's the pieces. Just
I feel now every set that you could buy is a licensed something, whereas back then it was like this town or this, this
I feel
vehicle.
like now you see very very little of that. At least when I go to the store. I mean, I don't really go to the Lego store. I know JJ, you've been there, but like a normal toy store, like you don't really see a lot of the non-licensed stuff on the shelves for Legos.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of the licensed stuff, but Lego does have their own brand. They've got their city limits and their, now back when I was a kid, there was no, how do you say it? There's no boy girl Legos. It was just one type of Lego. Where now we've got Legos that cater to boys, and then we've got Legos that cater to girls. We've got the princess castles and the jewelry Legos and stuff like that. So that's a nice way to get everybody involved. Not that it wasn't like that before. I mean, girls could still put this stuff together, but now they make stuff that's catered to that. More pinks and all that stuff. But
I mean, like I can't even tell you how many. So I probably purchased about 15 sets of Legos in the last couple of weeks, just because like my cousin, her sons are into it. So I bought a couple. So we duped on one. So I actually know Noelle. Luckily, she doesn't listen to podcasts. She's gonna get like a set. So that's gonna be her starting point.
And I think buying these things, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like it's a safety gift. It's no matter you can buy these things and give them to anybody. Somebody's going to play with it. Somebody's going to put it together, or you just re-gift it and give to somebody else. But there are going to be people that's going to want to play with these, no matter what they are.
I feel like it's very unlikely that a kid would be disappointed by a Lego set.
Correct. Yeah. I think so.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty here. So we'll start with Toy Story on this one. About how many Lego sets do you own?
Probably not as many as you think. Maybe 30 to 40.
Wow, that's more than I expected.
That is more than you expected?
Yeah.
Because I think JJ is more like 1 to 200.
Is it that many, JJ? Do you have the number in mind?
It's probably close to 100 to 150, maybe 200.
That's impressive.
And some of them I've never opened.
Yeah, that's cool.
But you got to understand those, I got 2 little boys who love this. So, out of the 150, maybe 125 are mine. No, I'm just kidding.
I believe that's the number. Yes, I believe it's the other way.
So I'm not sure where this fits in, but I like to collect the Star Wars ones. It's
me too. Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, what kind of specific collections do you guys do? So go into the Star Wars.
So I collect the Star Wars ones. I love, especially the bigger sets. So the
collector series, right?
The collector series, collector's edition. Just like I got here, like all these are part of the collector's edition. They're kind of, I'm going to say full size, or they're big versions of.
They're big boy sets.
Yeah, and just like Toy Story has background, I also have the Millennium Falcon, which at one point was the largest set, which is not the largest set anymore. We'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But I've got sets that I've never opened. I've got 2 different Death Stars in a closet, which I'd love to put together one of these days. I've got an Ewok set. I've got the Hoth set. I've got an A-wing. I've got the B-wing. I've got all these other sets. I haven't had the time to put them together. And my basement office, I'm limited on space because these collector's editions, they're huge. I mean, and they take up a lot of space. But to me, again, going back, these are therapeutic. They take a long time, and it's just it's mind-numbing. Some of the other sets, I collect with my boys. They love the Marvel. My older one loves the Iron Man. So we've got a lot of the Iron Man sets. I've probably got about 30 or 40 in a closet over here of Marvel and DC that I haven't even opened either. They're kind of like, and they don't listen to podcasts, but they were ones we bought at Toys R Us before they won out, and they were future gifts. So we have a closet.
That's a good idea.
We have a closet full of toys.
We ran out of those already.
We've been really stickly about that, but we still have a lot in there. I've got this big, giant, huge digging machine. It's their digger. It's huge. And again, that was something because it was large. I like building the larger sets, and eventually that would be a gift for one of the boys that I'll put together.
So question for you, since you mentioned it already. So what's the specific difference between like a collector's series set and like a regular set?
I think it's just the size of it, and it's
the intricacy.
Yeah, they're a little tougher to put together. They're not made for a 7-year-old kid to put together. Even though a 7-year-old could probably put it together, they're more for an older person like myself and Toy Story.
So it's almost like comparable to like a model set, right?
Yeah. Yep. And and some of most of the collector's edition they do retire these. So after a while, they stop selling, they stop making them, so they're gone. So
these some of these things perform better than stocks. These sets.
Yeah. So I do have a set. I forget the number on it, but it's the original Star Destroyer that came out. I'm going to say about 15, 16 years ago.
Those were like 2005-ish, I think.
Yeah. So I know I paid $4.99 for it. I actually got it as a gift, and it's probably a $2,000 or $3,000 set right now. Wow. I've never fully put it together because it's large. It's huge. I mean, it's a big set. But that's, I have that, and the stuff I'm never going to sell.
Is it Vader's Star Destroyer or just a standard Star Destroyer?
It's a standard Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm. They had Vader's too.
It's actually the Star Destroyer that was in the New Hope, the first one. So you got the Star Destroyer, and then it came with a little tiny rebel ship that got brought in. So I mean, that's probably one of my favorite pieces. I'm not sure if we were doing that,
is that your most valuable piece?
Probably.
That's awesome.
Probably, or one of the other Death Stars I have is going for a lot of money.
Mine is Death Star 2, I think.
Yeah,
which I have in a box somewhere.
And what's that one value?
That's about $1,500.
Yeah, I think.
Wow. And have you ever put yours together, Toy Story?
Yeah, I did fully put it together. It's in pieces. I have every single piece, but it's apart in a box in the attic.
So is there still the same value if you've opened it, put together, and then taken it apart and put it back? Or
Not comparable to a sealed set.
Okay. So there is
like sealed sets are much, much higher.
So there is like a seal. Like you have to like break a seal on it. Like
some exactly. of the but what's funny is what's pretty valuable too is the manuals themselves. So you can sell a manual for a lot of money without the pieces because you can always buy these pieces. Usually, typical Lego piece, if you buy them individually, they're anywhere from 5 to 10 cents a piece, depending on what the size of it. So people buy the manuals separately so that they could just buy the pieces, which is interesting. So
you can get any books in any color.
Yeah, pretty much. I think one of the hardest colors you can get is people dig for these things. Is a couple years ago the original Yoda Lego, the green piece, the green color. It's really they only made it that color is only specific to that set.
That shade of green or whatever, right?
Yep. And it's a hard. They're hard to find.
Set. I wish I had it. You have it, right?
I don't have that set.
Oh, you don't? I thought you did.
No, Zach has it. I was going to get it from Zach. Zach promised it to me. Remember that?
Yes.
Zach, if you're listening to this, I'm still waiting for it.
Bojo.
But yeah, that specific green, people go digging for that. Like it's crazy.
So you mentioned earlier too, so at one point that Millennium Falcon was the largest single piece.
What's that one right there?
It's no longer. So it's larger than there was more pieces. Than the Star Destroyer.
So the new Star Destroyer that they just came out with like last year, the year before, now has more pieces than this one.
Oh, is it? Oh, I was going somewhere completely different.
What were you talking about?
There's a new piece that just came, a new set that came out about a week or two ago. It's the Roman Colosseum.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
So the Roman Colosseum is now the set with the most amount of pieces.
Oh my god!
And it's the only problem with it. So I was looking at the manual to this thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking, but the problem is, most of the pieces that you put together, they're exactly the same. So there's
9,036 pieces.
There's a part that you make. I think it takes 5 or 6 Legos. And you have to make 200 of them exactly.
I don't know if I would like that. That's a little too repetitive for me.
It is. That's
very lethargic, right?
That's why I'm skipping that one.
That's fair.
I like the interesting builds. You know, I don't like repetition. So like certain things, like I remember when I was building the X-wing, when you had to build that X-wing you have in your hands, building 4 of the exact same wing, you know, stuff like that.
This is
that
cool.
can get a little old sometimes.
You know, this is great because the wings move. So this is Red 5. This is Luke Skywalker's Red 5, and I bought this. So Lego had an event at Times Square, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, where they actually built a full size of one of these in Legos, a 101 full size. It was huge.
That's awesome.
And it was in the middle of Times Square, and Toys R Us, I guess, was sponsoring it. And the deal was that day and that day only, if you bought Red 5, the first 1,000 people to buy this got a special minifig, and this is Yoda that says New York I Heart. So there's only 1,000 of these things out in the world, and then that's it. So this is probably my most valuable minifigure.
So let's talk about that. So what that's like what, like a $300 figure, right?
$300 to $500. Yeah. Mine is still in the bag. I didn't take it out of the bag, so hopefully it might be worth more.
Yeah.
There are versions of this, that was given out at the New York Toy Fair that year, and it came in a little set. But again, that was a small number. So yeah, and then
is there any differentiation between that one and the other one?
It's the same one. It just comes in this weird set. There are bootlegs of this. I almost bought one.
I remember that.
Yeah. The guy was arguing with me that it was real and it wasn't real, because there's ways you could tell a real Lego from a fake one. But yeah, this thing goes for anywhere. I've seen it go from anywhere from $300 to $500.
So just like everything else, there's a bootleg market on those, right?
Of course.
It's crazy. But God.
No, I was gonna say, so like how many actual single figures are worth, like what are, like, aside from that one, what are some of the other like actual like character figures that are worth a lot of money?
There's a lot of them. I mean, there's a C-3PO that's gold.
Yeah, the actual like shiny gold one, right?
Whoops, sorry. My print job is done. No, I mean an actual solid gold Lego C-3PO. Wow. Lego did a contest a few years ago. They only made, I think, 2 or 3 of these things, and you won this thing. That's pretty valuable because there's not many of them. Is that the most
valuable one?
Probably.
Was it like probably like $10,000?
Well, it's solid gold. It's a little minifig. I mean, it all depends. There's quite a few. I know I have this. I also have a chrome I bought at Rhode Island Comic-Con, a chrome Darth Vader, which was pretty expensive. I think that's up to like $200-$300 itself.
Oh wow!
So the gold C-3PO in the bag sells for like $600 to $700.
That's that's the plastic one.
Oh, yeah. It's like the one of 10,000 one.
You said there's a solid gold one.
Yeah. So this is just the plastic one. $800.
I have one of those. I have one of those in the bag still.
You said 800, Matt, for that one?
800.
Wow, so you have that. So that's probably your most expensive one then.
Probably. I didn't realize it was up that much. I knew at one time it was like 2 or 3. Because there was only 10,000 of those.
Matt, do you have any like valuable like single character ones?
Not super. I have a couple of rare ones. So so you guys want to see my first ever eBay purchase?
Okay.
Ever? This guy.
Oh, Greedo. Cool.
In like 2004, 2005, when I started getting into the Star Wars sets, I bought all the Episode 3 sets when those came out. And then after I built them all, my favorite pastime was going on eBay and looking at all the 1999 sets, like from the original trilogy that they did. So I tried to track down everything I could.
On eBay when you were 11?
Oh, yes. I didn't have my own account, but I asked them to buy stuff for me very often. That was during the days where you had to write a check to send to eBay.
Or money order.
Yeah. So I got a lot of those like 1999, 2000 sets off of eBay when I was a kid. Every year for like Christmas and birthday, I'd be like, Mom, you just order me this. I send eBay links, just give me this used set. So I have like, what's that?
That's what I do now.
So I have like the original Emperor with the yellow face.
That's a good one.
You know, I have this one's actually pretty rare. This is the original Count Dooku, where he has the curved lightsaber hilt.
Yep.
Which was very, very scarce at the time. So the original is probably a lot more than the one now.
I can't get to my good ones. They're like behind boxes.
Yeah. This is Qui-Gon with the special hairpiece.
Oh my
with the ponytail. Yeah. So none of these are crazy valuable, but they were very hard to get at the time.
So what happens? Do they like retire a lot of these, or there's like a limited amount? That's where
they're all retired. Yeah.
And a lot of them you can only get in these sets. You know.
Yep.
And
like Greedo was only this version of Greedo was only available in the original Mos Eisley set.
Right.
So he was pretty hard to get back in the day. So that set itself was like $100.
Like obscure sets that'll only have like this character.
Yep.
Like
or this version of this character.
Yeah, like hey, the first ever Riddler came in this like random like Batman set. It's just
it was Padme. Yellow Padme with the long.
Oh, that's
hair.
a good one.
Yeah, from the Pod Racer set.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was really into that. Just going on eBay and finding all those old sets, which I still have all of them.
I love collecting just the minifigs. They're fun.
Yeah, they don't take up space.
They don't, and I probably got about 4,000 different minifigs. You know, I tried at one time. I wanted to buy all the Stormtroopers, so I've got a big, I don't know, what is it, 18 by 18 Lego, scenery deck, and I've got them all on there. But I wanted to collect as many, Stormtroopers as I could find and just have them up in rows all over the place.
That's funny.
And that's what's I love about Lego. I think they realized the market, people loved the minifigs, so they started, selling just little packets of blind mini bags of minifigs, and you never know what you get. But I kind of like, I have a stupid, I have to buy them when every time I see them, I'm like, I'm just going to buy one of these, see what I get.
Mystery box addiction.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that like X-Wing, that like life-size X-Wing. Is that the largest Lego creation they've ever made?
I believe so. It was, yeah.
Wow.
It was the only one. I've never seen anything else full size like that. It was impressive. I got to dig out pictures of that, but it was sitting in the middle of Times Square. It was huge.
It is a Lego X-Wing, and it's freaking massive.
And it's life size.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I remember.
And what's cool about those big sets? Sorry to interrupt you. Is they I'll put this guy. We'll put the picture up. But they build it to look like a giant Lego piece. So they'll make it with like the studs and everything, but make those out of a bunch of smaller Legos.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's cool. That is pretty cool. I remember like in that Toys R Us that JJ was talking about. It's no longer there, obviously, in Times Square. They had like a huge Statue of Liberty in there, and that was like the big thing I'd seen at that point.
Their Lego section was so impressive. Yeah. I mean, it was such a great place to go, and it's sad.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of on that topic, and this is something I actually have no idea what the answer is. Have they ever used Legos for like real life application? Like other than like a toy, have they been used in building anything or stuff like that? Like, is there one like they needed it for like the NASA or something like that because it's lightweight and it's
who knows? But I mean, this is such.
They've built like working cars, I think.
Yes. Working cars, right? Air driven that actually drive full size cars. I've seen.
That's fun.
But this is such a huge, it plays such a huge impact on people. You got people who specialize, artists who specialize in, Lego art, where they'll incorporate, a building, and the part of the building will be Legos, or a painting would be have Legos built into it. It's pretty impressive what people do with some of this stuff.
That is cool. All right, so I think that's like all the questions I had. Was there anything other like Lego specific you guys wanted to share before we move on to?
Yeah, they're getting too expensive for the new sets.
They are. They really are.
On a per piece, like a lot of people break it out to what they cost per piece for a set.
And you can buy them for less.
It's like I get inflation and all that, but it's like double what they used to be for the same size sets.
So since JJ mentioned like the pieces, like per piece price was like 5 cents, can you like buy some of these like piece by piece and spend less than what they're selling in the box?
I don't know about less.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It's better probably just to buy the set.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
You know, these are made for people like, you know, I have the Lego Saturn V rocket, which is a big rocket. It stands like 3 feet tall. It's a beautiful piece.
That thing's cool.
And, you know, we've got people out there who, you know, so there's a lot of Lego builders out there who create their own, you know, so we have people who, you know, built the Saturn V rocket, but then built the launch pad to go along with it. So here you got a 3-foot rocket. And then on top of that, you've got a 4-foot launch pad on wheels. And it's probably 5 or 6 times the amount of pieces that are in the actual, you know, rocket itself. It's quite amazing. So those type of people are the ones who go out and buy the individual pieces and go from there.
That is cool though.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot more types of pieces out now, and I think they talked about this in the Toys That Made Us episode. So if you look at like the sets from like, not even the 70s, but like let alone the 70s, the 90s, you know, they're very blocky because they didn't have a lot of curved pieces back then or like special pieces. Now, like, you know, well, back then if they needed to make a special shape or something, they'd make it out of the blocky regular bricks. Now they'll just print a new piece, you know?
And it's
so there's a million new types of pieces out there now.
And it's quite expensive to make those, you know.
So that probably contributes to why they're a little more expensive now.
From what I think from what I remember seeing, like an old Lego documentary, was that, you know, to create one piece. So to create this one little tiny piece, which is kind of like a hilt. Yeah. You know, creating this, making the dies for it, making everything, this is a $500,000 piece. When you think about what's involved to create this piece.
So they better make enough to put in enough sets to turn a profit on that piece.
Right. So that all includes why these pieces are a lot of money, because creating the dies and the mold injectors and everything, it's very expensive. And plastic itself, I mean, plastic is pretty expensive. I mean, plastic is oil.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's the colors too. So we're going off in tangents, but it's so in the background here, see all these crazy colors that are like the old school colors. And what I notice is when there's a lot of sets where it's very external based. So you'll see this in sets like the Death Star and whatever, and a lot of the Ultimate Collector series. So they'll put the special colors that you need on the outside to make it look like it's real, and then on the inside they'll put crazy colors like red, this green and stuff, because they're not used in sets. So they just kind of grab whatever pieces, you know, whatever colors fit, because they're not going to be seen.
That's funny.
So that's why you'll have a random orange piece go inside, because you're not going to see it. So that's one way they save money, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those like special grays and stuff, they're more expensive to make than those stupid greens, you know?
Very interesting.
This is a cool set. This was 2012.
I remember those. Those are cool.
New York Comic-Con exclusive. There was only 1,000 of these things made for the entire New York Comic-Con. I actually have 2 of them. They only allowed you to get one ticket to buy one. I got one, and then I think like a day later, I found one of the tickets on the floor. Somebody dropped it, so I was like, I'm going to pick this up, and I got myself another one. But this is. What's that?
I said Thief JJ.
I don't know who dropped it. I picked it up. But yeah, this is still sealed. I've never opened this, but this is number 210 of 1,000.
Matt, were you telling me the other day about how you dropped the ticket for that at the New York Comic Con?
Well, it's too late now. The statute of limitations is gone. But yeah, this is a pretty cool piece. This goes for a lot of money on eBay itself too. But yeah, a lot of the New York, San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, they go for a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a fun stuff.
Well, I hope people enjoyed this. Something a little different. We haven't done something kind of like away from comics for a while. So hit us up. If you guys have any other questions, do you have any comments? If we're wrong about anything, let us know.
Tell us what your favorite is. What's your favorite set? I'd like to know what people's favorite set is. What should we look into? I'm Star Wars. Maybe I like something else.
All right, so you guys want to close this out? Talk about a little show going on?
Yes, I do.
Us program.
So by the time this is out, there'll be another episode out, which we haven't seen yet. Yes. But to be clear, we're talking about Chapter 13, The Jedi.
And I'm almost positive that the episode that just came out is probably a filler episode. So no worries.
So right away, I mean, they've already said that this next episode Friday is only going to be 32 minutes long. It's short, 32 minutes.
It's going to be about the frog lady again.
It's going to be the shortest episode of the season.
Wow.
Which sucks.
Yeah. All right, let's not talk about that.
Bathroom.
So, what did you guys?
The Jedi.
Where do we start? What do you guys think of this episode?
So what was this episode? This was a huge episode. I mean, we knew that this was coming. I didn't think it was.
I didn't think it was the hugest episode.
I didn't think we were going to get it this quickly in the series. I thought we were going to have to wait.
I didn't think we'd get her that early in the episode.
So who is her?
2 minutes. Who is her?
Who is her?
Ahsoka.
Ashoka.
Played by Rosario Dawson.
JJ, if you only had your poster with you that day we went to the Daredevil premiere, you could have gotten it signed.
Who would have known?
Awesome.
Who would have known?
So for those that don't know, some fans on Twitter, some fans on Twitter in 2017 posted a fan art of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, saying, "Come on, you should play her," and she retweeted it saying, "Sure, sign me up." And so everybody's like, "Oh, that'd be awesome." And then so Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they've been toying with that since they were writing season 1. I learned. So they had already had her in mind that they wanted her after seeing all that. They were like, "Oh, that's a good idea. She's awesome." So this has all been, in the works for a while. So now she's finally here.
With that being said, before we go into this any further, I hope they've seen all this Sebastian Stan as young Luke Skywalker or whatever, because
he looks good.
I want that to happen now.
Yeah.
Listen, he's close enough. I was just like, honestly, we need Luke Skywalker back.
Yeah.
We want to see him doing awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Those original series, they didn't really have the technology and the acrobatics to really. Yeah. I want to see him really F stuff up. All right.
Yeah.
All right, but continue.
Yeah, but no, the way she was introduced, this episode hit the ground running. So it was written and directed by Dave Filoni. Yep. For those that don't know, the mastermind behind Clone Wars and Rebels, direct apprentice to George Lucas. So Ahsoka was in it from right in the first 2 minutes. She was introduced, which I thought was awesome. They didn't waste any time.
And that's what I loved about this, because typically
the episode was about her.
But when they do stuff like this, typically on a show, I mean, they usually wait till they wait till. Usually they'll have a teaser episode right before the ending of one show, and to bring her
a cameo.
Yeah, this one or they'll wait to an end. Wait to an end or mid end. But this one, right away. I mean, that was the first thing you saw. Was her and her white lightsabers, and I was floored. I
love that about the episode, that it just went straight into her. You didn't you don't have to you're hanging on pins and needles the whole time.
How many times did you guys watch it?
Twice.
Wow.
She was awesome, but you could tell she studied the I know you haven't watched too much of the cartoon, right, TC? But you watched Rebels?
I've watched the Rebels, yeah.
Yeah.
I at this point I'm only not watching Clone Wars just as a pain point to you.
Yeah, I know that. So.
But I think at this point I'll eventually watch them.
Yeah. But you could tell that she studied the character. She was doing she was clearly an adult Ahsoka, but she still had the mannerisms and stuff from the cartoon version. She did that eyebrow thing, that she does.
Well, I think she collaborated with Ashley a lot on this, because I mean, to be honest with you, Ashley, she's Ahsoka herself. I mean, Ashley's the voice of Ahsoka on the Clone Wars and Rebels, and she's done a phenomenal job with the character. She will always be Ahsoka as number one. I mean, I love her. The voice goes perfect with her. But I think she collaborated a lot with her to bring that character out in live form.
Live action.
Live action.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then we also got Baby Yoda's name. What do we think of that?
Grogu.
Yeah, what do we think of that?
The first thing I thought about was Stranger Things. That was when I heard, I was like,
Gorgon, Demi-Gorgon.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think, we only think Yoda's not weird because everybody knows Yoda. I mean,
it's true. When I first heard it, I was like, I don't know if I like that, but then I was like, I don't mind it actually.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not in love with it.
It's got to be hard to come up with something like that, and especially with something that's so loved. Like you're already calling this baby something.
Yeah.
Like you're calling it Baby Yoda. Like there's not going to be something that's like better than like Baby Yoda.
do you think they knew this name before season 1?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I think they did.
Yeah.
But I'd like to have been at that table to discuss what are we going to call this thing? What are we like? What other names were thrown around?
Yeah.
Because you got to figure too. So we have Yoda, and then we have this Yaddle. They both start with Y.
Is this their love child? Who knows?
Hopefully not.
I don't.
He was a Padawan at the Jedi Temple during the Order 66 stuff. So that's really interesting.
There's a great meme of like at the end when Yoda's like, going to hiding I must, avoid child support I must.
I don't see that being part of the story. I don't know if it's even worthy to even bring out who his parents are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think the real mystery is going to be who saved him.
Who saved him?
Yeah, like because he said that somebody rescued him from the Jedi Temple. He doesn't remember who it is, and then he has like no memory of what's happened in the past. Like, how many years is this? 30, 40 years?
Yeah.
So the going bet is the old lady from the Jedi Archives.
Jocasta?
Yes.
Interesting.
She was the one that rescued him and got him out. Because she did survive. I mean, she was...
Yeah, there's the Darth Vader comics about that.
Yep. So she's part of that world. She got out of there. So that's the going... the bet right now is she's the one that brought him out.
Yeah. I love that there's still so much mystery surrounding him, even deep into season 2. Yeah. Like they're not revealing anything right away.
I get so I've gotten scared twice already from these jerks on social media who keep saying that first it was what's his name broke his back, the guy who's playing the Mandalorian, and then someone else is like Jon Favreau broke his back. I was like, what are you talking about? I saw that
the whole saga, right?
From carrying the Star Wars franchise. It's like, you jerks, stop it! I'm getting nervous.
I mean, it's true.
I gotta say, I think it's a perfect pairing because I think as a visual live action person, Jon Favreau has a great eye and like can really translate that so well. And then on the other side, you have Dave Filoni, who respects Star Wars lore so much. He knows it so well. He knows it
like George almost.
He probably knows it as good as George, but the way he takes it, I think, at least personally, further than George, is he knows like the kind of things that work now and what doesn't work now. And I think, and this is no knock to George, he created this whole world. I think he understands how to translate a lot of this story better now than George does.
Yeah. Did you guys remember that little monologue he gave in that the behind the scenes episode?
Oh,
do you remember that?
It was beautiful.
So we just started watching that. My wife and I, we just started watching it, and that was
so good.
We just finished that episode 2 nights ago. And we sat there and listened to it like 3 or 4 times because it actually sent chills down my spine. Yeah. And he summed it up.
He just came up with that in his head. He just.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's had that feeling. It was probably like the first time
to be able to vocalize it like that,
to express that.
Yeah, you could tell how excited he is.
And what's her name was there too. What's her first name? Kennedy, right? Her first
Kathleen Kennedy.
He goes, and he should have ended it. And it's like, that's why I should be in charge with this. And it's just mic dropped.
But I think even now, when I saw that, I was in awe. I was shocked and awe that this what came out of this guy's mouth, because he summed it up what everybody thinks about this story, about this world, about this life. And the first thing I thought about was, I want my kids to see this. Because I want them to think like this. Yeah. When they get older, like this is what you need to achieve. Of, the mindset of, here's a guy who's bringing out these stories. You got these storytellers who is bringing these stories visually for people to enjoy, and it's an amazing world that he's bringing us. I mean, we sit there and we can read all these we can read all these novels and these comic books and these movies, but he's bringing all this together. And
I think what the great thing about him is he knows it so well. He's a creator of it, but at the same time, he's also a fan. And that's the thing that's different about George. Like, it's his creation, but at the same time, it's not like something that he grew up with. It's not his love. It's a part of him, but not like he understands it from a creator and a fan perspective.
And George has a lot of other stories. I mean, he's got the Indiana Jones. He's got all these projects that he can't focus, where we've got Dave, who, he's been working on the Clone Wars for such a long time, and he's bringing
that thing so well.
That's his baby. That's his show, and that's his work, and that's his story.
I know we're not speaking about this specific episode at this point.
Okay. Sorry.
Back to this behind the scenes thing too. I love his interactions with other people on set, where he's like, "Oh, we can do this thing. Remember it?" He's like talking to Jon Favreau. Remember?
I was just about to bring that up.
And John's like, "No." He goes, "Oh, it's like I'm a Star Wars fan." He goes, "But not like you." But no. I mean, honestly, great person to do this. Great person to direct.
The two of them, I think everybody says the two of them need to be in charge of Star Wars. But in addition to that, the whole team of directors that they got working on The Mandalorian every season is amazing. Between them two and Deborah Chow, Bryce Dallas Howard, Taika Waititi, who's the other one, Peyton Reed.
They're all
amazing.
And that's the great thing about them too. And that's the thing with about John. I feel like he's really good at identifying talent and the talent for the right things and the right stories. Like, he's like, listen, like, we have this 5 or 6 set of directors. I was like, this story that we want to tell here, like, I know that whatever her name is, what's
Dallas?
Howard's daughter?
Dallas.
Like, I know Bryce Dallas Howard. Like, this is a story that she can tell. I know that, Dave, this is a story, like this episode specifically, Dave has to tell the story. Like, this is his baby. This is his creation. Dave has to tell the story. Like, he's the right one to tell the story. And then the same thing for the other guys, like, with different actions, everyone has like their specialties, and they're really good at like maneuvering the season too. Because like, if you think about this show, it's like every episode's really like its own movie, and it has a different flavor and a different, theme going on in each episode. I mean, listen, I cracked at it, I made cracks at it earlier, but the episode where he's, stranded on that planet with the frog lady, it has its own like, theme going on that's different from like the last episode or the episode after that.
It keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, so let's bring it back to this episode. So this was a huge episode. We had a lot of famous actors in this. I'm not sure if you guys really know that. I mean, when I say famous, I mean they've been on other shows and shows that I grew up with.
Well, we'll say there's a lot of actors that you know from other things.
Right.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
All right, well, we'll get into that. So, so we've got Ahsoka now. We've got this story brought out.
We got her. We got Grogu.
We've got this city. I guess a city, town, whatever, that's under kind of somewhat weird.
So the protagonist in this story, what was her name?
The girl,
Morgan Nesbeth or something.
Yes, yeah. Which again, she's been a lot of different things.
Diana Lee Inosanto.
She's the goddaughter of Bruce Lee, her father, which is crazy.
Yeah, she's her dad is Dan Inosanto, who I've trained with in martial arts in person many times. Oh, wow. I literally just found that out on Wikipedia. That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was the trainer for Bruce Lee. And
That's crazy.
And he's like one of his understudies, right? Like his
she was. And she's a huge martial artist, which craziness.
So was her character in Clone Wars or Rebels or anything? She didn't appear previously, right?
I don't think so. Jim, do you know?
So, I was trying to find this out because it bothered me a little bit. So another branch to this show was a big spoiler. If you haven't seen this, was Thrawn was brought up in this movie, in this show, which is huge news to, Rebels fans and Star Wars fans in general, because, here we've got a character who's a fantastic character.
Very cool character.
And, if you guys watched Rebels, at the last episode of the Rebels, we had Ezra Bridger, who basically pushed himself with Thrawn across the universe and never been seen again. So here we may have Thrawn being brought back in here. So along those along with that, I thought.
Just a quick note there. Did you see what Dave Filoni said recently?
What?
No.
He said, "All I'm gonna say is it's possible that this episode happened before the finale of Rebels." He said, "All I'm going to say is it's possible." He's like, "I'm not saying that's what it is, just saying it's possible."
Okay.
Which would be disappointing if that was the case.
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
Yeah.
So along those lines, Thrawn in the comic book, he had like a kind of second command on board the ship. It was a girl, black hair. I forget what her name was in the comic book. I kind of thought that was her.
I don't remember.
I don't know, Matt. No,
I read the comic too. I don't remember
know.
the name.
I don't remember.
We'll look into it. We'll do some more research. We should have done it before. I should have done it.
It's all right.
Yeah, but that was cool too. Like you got thrown. So there was like 3 huge things when you think about it came out of this.
So the other character was Lang, the guy Lang who's played by Michael Brain. I can't say his name. Bean?
B-I-H by B-I-H.
Yeah.
That was Michael Bean?
Yes, so he's from the
terrible.
He does. I mean, he's from The Abyss. He's from Terminator. He's from
the first Terminator.
Aliens. Huge. It bothered me because I'm sitting there watching this guy and I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, and he's old. He didn't age very well.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him.
It bothered me the whole episode. Like, I know this guy, and I looked him up, and
that's funny.
That's him.
Yeah, he was famous for about 3 years.
I liked him because he
was in a really underrated movie called Navy SEALs.
Yeah, and he played a Navy SEAL in The Abyss. He was the head Navy SEAL in that.
He was in Aliens. I think Aliens is like the last big movie he was in.
And then the other guy was Wing Tao Cho, which was the old Chinese guy who ended up becoming
becomes like head of the town.
Yeah, so he was actually, it's funny because he was basically a cameo in this, but he was the head architect for Hong Kong Disney.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's an extremely wealthy individual, but he is the architect for Epcot Center, Disneyland Paris, and Disneyland Hong Kong. Which was kind of cool to see them bring that in. Yeah.
This woman is, so when I first saw that woman, I thought she was the girl from Crouching Tiger. And I was like, it looks like her, but she looks way too young to be that girl. And then I realized it's not her.
Yeah, she was in a few movies. She was in Blade. She was in Wild Wild West with Will Smith and all them. She was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So she's been in some movies.
Michael Bean was also in Tombstone.
Tombstone, that's right.
He's like, he's the one who Val Kilmer says, "I'll be your Huckleberry." Have you ever seen Tombstone, Matt?
No.
Absolutely phenomenal movie. If you're gonna ever watch one Western, don't let anyone else tell you differently. That's the one you watch.
So, what is your guys' thoughts on the direction that Grogu is going to go into?
Grogu.
So seeing that Ahsoka is not going to take him under her wing as a trainer, Padawan, whatever you want to call him at this point in his life.
I'm really curious. So I mean, again, this is full spoiler, guys. I hope you're not listening to this if you haven't watched it yet. So she basically tells him to take him to some planet. I don't remember the name. And there's a Jedi temple there, right? And
so that Jedi temple is the original Jedi temple. It's where the birthplace of the Jedi is.
Okay. So he's going to go there. He's going to reach. It's up to him, she basically says, if he reaches out to the Force and someone comes back. So it's really going to depend on what they decide to do there. I don't see it, honestly, at any point. I don't think this show works if they break those two up.
Oh, they can't. No. It's not going to work.
This show, I mean, I'm just saying speculation-wise. I was like, there's so many people invested in both of them and of both of them together. I don't think at this point one can exist without the other.
Definitely.
Correct.
So I think no matter what, these two have to stay together. I don't know if that means that somehow they train. I don't know. There's so many different directions they could go in. I don't know what it is. I think if you're asking me what I think is going to happen, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to reach out. I think you're going to see, if I were going to do it, this is how I would do it. You see maybe like a hidden person get a thing. You don't get like a reveal of who they are. And then maybe season 3, you find out like which Jedi is going to come and get, who was reached out to. Maybe it's somebody big. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that's why Obi-Wan Kenobi's got to, rev up the show and get it done before season 3 comes out. It's, it could be anything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Obi-Wan Kenobi because this wouldn't be Obi-Wan Kenobi because it takes place 5 years after.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if they dress him up as.
I mean, listen, it could be Luke. Maybe it's Ezra. Maybe Ezra's the one who comes and finds him. Who knows? I feel like there's a lot of different directions that they can go, and I think they know that too. And I think they're probably playing with a lot of these still, or maybe they know already.
It's interesting.
Very excited to find out. All right, what's your guys' rating of this episode? Let's do that.
Hardcore 10.
What about you, Toy Story?
9.6. Yeah, I don't like to give anything a perfect 10, just in case.
I love this episode.
I'm gonna go 9.6 as well.
Yeah.
Nope.
It was essentially perfect.
I mean, they brought out the whole lore. One of the points we didn't focus on was the owl that follows Ahsoka around, who's been in many shows. What is it called? The Lorm cat. They brought that into this, which was from. So I mean, they brought so much into this. It was just, to me, it was perfect. I don't think I would have changed anything.
No, me neither. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, like, do I have any like pain points about it? Not really. I don't know. Like, I don't know if anything strikes me as a 10. It has a
9.6 on IMDb.
Hey, we have good insight, I guess, when it comes to that. Yeah, I mean, it was a great episode. Definitely, I don't think you could tell me that there's one better than this. I don't think so personally. I mean, they're all so good. I think the lowest grade I would give would probably be the frog episode, and I'd even give that one probably a 7.5.
Yeah, even the bad episode, not bad. Even the lower
the
episodes
weak
are
episodes
enjoyable.
are sevens and eights.
Yeah,
high sevens and eights.
So your thoughts? So Mondo's got a new weapon. What are your thoughts on this thing being able to block lightsabers?
So that was interesting. So I don't know if you guys know the lore about this, but I thought a lightsaber could cut through everything, and apparently it can't cut through. What is it called? Beskar. So was that previously mentioned in any? I mean, I've seen every movie. The only thing I haven't seen.
I thought I could be wrong. I thought Beskar was new to this series.
I've never heard
introduced in this series.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before this.
So I guess. Pure Beskar can stop.
But certain things, like in the prequels, I remember they were fighting like those General Grievous's guys, and they had like these electric staffs or something that weren't lightsabers, but they couldn't cut through them. So I think there's a few things that it can't cut through. But
okay,
it's cool. It's a pretty cool spear or staff or whatever he's got.
It's cool. I feel like it's another weapon he'll have to learn how to use. Listen, I think the fact that we had a Jedi like within a series, it's awesome. I mean, the way they used her, the double lightsaber thing. Like, listen, like I've seen a little bit of her in the in the animated stuff. The best being the duel that she has with
Ventress
in the Rebels that I've seen. Again, I haven't seen the Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, I love her battles with Ventress. They were just
those are really cool. Yeah,
I mean, there's other somebody did like some fan art thing where she meets up with Luke and she's like, oh my God, you're Luke Skywalker, and she's like I'm so sorry your father turned, and like he tells her like no, at the end he came back to the light, and she like breaks down and cries. So it's like it's such there's so many possibilities. And I feel like they're really smart about bringing the right ones to light. Again, because the thing about Dave Filoni is too, he listens to the fans. He knows what the fans want. He's like, hey, that's actually a great idea. I want that too.
Yeah.
So it's I'd love to see all this stuff come true. I hope we get Sebastian Stan. I want to see Luke Skywalker. It's like, I don't care if it's not Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill already signed off on this guy. So it's like, listen, if you want Mark Hamill to voice it over and have him be the character, take it. I'll take it. Whatever you want to give me, I'll take it. But
cool.
Bring him in as the Joker. I don't care.
Did you see he was because he was a little peeved, I think, that they didn't cast him in the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Who was
Mark Hamill?
Did not even ask him?
He was like, reasons why I didn't voice Luke in this, because I didn't want to tarnish the perfect reputation of the original, and also they didn't ask me.
Only Lando, I think, was the only actual voice actor.
Oh, was he? I didn't watch it yet, so
yeah,
I have to at some
point.
point.
Okay, it was cute. It was like very aimed at children.
Yeah,
like my daughter watched it, she liked it, and I was just like, it was okay. It was like the best word to use is it was cute.
Cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
Nice.
All right,
but that's it. Its focuses on Rey, so just so you know. All right, guys. Does that wrap it up? You guys have any last
wraps
point?
it up.
No, that's it.
All right, we gave our grades. Let us know if you disagree, and if you disagree, well, you're wrong. All right, we just want to remind you guys again, please, if you can, remember to vote once a day, every day for us on Best of LI under Arts and Entertainment and subcategory podcast. You will find the name Don't Feed the Geeks there. Please hit that vote button. We really appreciate that. And as always, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at LI Comic Guys and at Don't Feed the Geeks podcast. We're pretty active, so reach out, send us a message. You have any questions, you're into anything, if you want to share the show with others, we'd love that. If you have suggestions for future episodes, we're open to that too. If you want to be on the show, if you're a writer, creator, artist, let us know. We're always looking for new people, maybe work something out. But I think that's it. You guys have anything?
I think that's it.
And again, please be sure to tune in on Saturday, the 12th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elite Comics 11 charity event, the Give Back.
Yes, amazing.
That's all I got.
Awesome.
All
right. Well, until next time, remember,
don't feed the geeks!